The evidence for the resurrection of Jesus, a comprehensive exploration. Did Jesus really rise from the dead? This question has sparked debate for centuries. Today, we explore compelling evidence for the resurrection. Explanation. Start with a captivating question to engage the audience. Highlight the enduring nature of the inquiry into the resurrection, setting the stage for an exploration of historical and theological evidence. Thesis statement. In this video, we will examine historical records, eyewitness accounts, and the impact of the resurrection on early Christianity. Explanation. Clearly state what the video will cover. This sets expectations for the audience and outlines the structure of the discussion. 1. Historical context. 1.1 The importance of Jesus' resurrection. Explanation. Discuss how the resurrection is not only a theological cornerstone of Christianity but also a unique claim that distinguishes it from other religions. For Christians, the resurrection signifies victory over sin and death, promising eternal life to believers. Sources of evidence. Explanation. Briefly overview primary sources such as the New Testament, particularly the four Gospels, the writings of early Church Fathers, external historical texts, such as those from the Jewish historian Josephus and Roman historians like Tacitus and Pliny the Younger, who mention Jesus and early Christians. Eyewitness testimonies. The Gospels as eyewitness accounts. Explanation. Discuss how the Gospels are often considered contemporaneous accounts. Highlight the fact that they were written within a generation of the events they describe and were based on either direct or indirect testimony of those who witnessed the events. Key point. Emphasize that women were the first witnesses to the resurrection, which is significant given the social context of the time. Credible Jewish testimonies would likely not feature women if the accounts were fabricated. Paul's letters. Explanation. Analyze Paul's letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 15, 3-8, where he outlines the resurrection and mentions that Jesus appeared to many, over 500 people, after rising. The early dating of these letters, approximately 15 to 20 years post-resurrection, adds weight to their authenticity. Key point. Paul's letters are often dated earlier than the Gospels and represent a very early form of Christian belief in the resurrection. Variations in accounts. Explanation. Discuss the differences in the resurrection narratives among the Gospels, such as varying accounts of who arrived at the tomb and the specific details of the appearances. These variations can enhance credibility. They suggest that different individuals reported their unique experiences rather than a colluded story. The tomb and the empty grave. The location. Explanation. Identify the location of Jesus' burial, traditionally located at Joseph of Arimathea's tomb, and mention that it was a known site to early Christians. This geographic specificity allows for verification. The empty tomb. Explanation. Discuss the implications of the empty tomb. Both believers and skeptics acknowledged that the tomb was empty. Jewish authorities, acknowledging this fact, attempted to explain it away with a story of the disciples stealing the body, Matthew 28, 11-15. The role of Joseph of Arimathea. Explanation. Joseph's involvement in Jesus' burial adds credibility. As a member of the Sanhedrin, his testimony and actions would have been well known, and his proper burial practices would have left no doubt regarding Jesus' death. Transformation of the disciples. From fear to boldness. Explanation. Discuss the transformation of the disciples from fearful followers hiding after the crucifixion to bold preachers of the resurrection, as seen in Acts 2. Their willingness to face persecution contradicts the idea that they fabricated the resurrection as a hoax. Martyrdom of the apostles. Explanation. Analyze the accounts of the apostles' martyrdom, suggesting that such drastic measures would be unlikely if they were knowingly perpetuating a false story. Their commitment indicates their genuine belief in the resurrection. Immediate and long-term impact. Formation of the early church. Explanation. Provide details on how the resurrection became the central message of the early church, Acts 4:33, and propelled rapid growth despite opposition. The bold proclaiming of the resurrection led to conversions, establishing the foundation of Christianity. The Sabbath to Sunday shift. Explanation. Discuss how the resurrection prompted early Christians to shift their day of worship from the Sabbath, Saturday, to Sunday, signifying a new creation and marking the day of Jesus' resurrection. Counterarguments and responses. The swoon theory. Explanation. Summarize the theory positing that Jesus didn't die but rather was unconscious and later revived. Counter with evidence such as Roman execution standards, the spear piercing his side John 19:34, and the burial customs which would ensure death. The theft theory. Explanation. Present the claim that the disciples stole the body of Jesus. Counter this by discussing the guarded tomb and the lack of motive, since the disciples' subsequent lives were marked by proclaiming the resurrection, often leading to their deaths. Conclusion. Summary. Recap the main evidence. Eyewitness accounts, the empty tomb, the transformative experiences of the disciples, and the influential impact on early Christianity. Final thoughts. The resurrection is not just a pivotal event in history, it's a transformative power that continues to impact lives today. Explanation. Reinforce that the resurrection's significance extends beyond historical evidence and has real implications for faith and personal transformation. Call to action. Encourage comments. What do you think about the evidence for the resurrection? Share your thoughts below. Subscription prompt. Enjoyed this content? Subscribe for more explorations into historical and theological topics. Additional resources. Provide links in the description to relevant books, articles, or documentaries for viewers wanting to delve deeper.